Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. I wanted to talk about a subject that's very important, but we're not really paying a lot of attention to it. It's not talked about a lot in the places you go. You see it happening where you are. You see it going on, but you don't say nothing about it. You just like the go along, get along game. Whatever's happening, it's cool. And you're the places where your mother and father's from, the places where your grandmama and granddaddy's from, all their relatives, friends, the generation before that, and the generation before that. You're going to be one of those generations. You're already one now. And when those just think about what those people are saying, all your ancestors. Just think about what they're saying if they see what's happening right now. Really, really think about that, because one of the things we don't like to do is think. If I know somebody out there getting mad, we don't like to think. And what would those people say if they saw their ancestral homeland today? How we've treated it, how we let other people treat it. And we're cool with it. Last night I did a story about how Europe is coming to America, cutting down the trees in the South so they can burn cleaner air over there. Coming to some of your grandmothers, grandfathers, people that raised you, the people that built your family, going in, ripping out the trees and making those people sick in those areas. We don't say nothing about it. Meanwhile, you have people coming from the other side of the world, Russia, India, bringing their mamas and daddies. Now, what does that mean when a person brings their mama and daddy to America? It means they ain't coming back. So all this stuff is going on. Immigrants are leaving their homes to come over here and be buried on top of your mama and daddy. And you cool with it. You wouldn't have it no other way. Every time you speak, it's about some dumb shit. And the people love it. Oh, they love it. They love it. Anything where they don't have to think, long as they're being programmed by some bullshit, they cool with it. But now, after all that, are we looking at what's right in front of us? Because I want to know. Because all these wars America has been in over the years, they sent you in to do the dirty work. And I know we pat you on the back and slap you on the head. Good job. Support our troops. You went over to these countries and helped Abu Ghraib, what happened over in Iran and Iraq when they was handcuffing those Iraqi or Iranian men together, shit like that. Sicking dogs, making them bite their genitals and stuff. See, we all up in that. We all up in that. Then when you talk to the brothers on the streets, because there's a lot of brothers. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't care where you are, you see it. Just throwaways. And this is what we let happen. We go over to fight these people and come back home, and these people are running the market your people used to run. But we don't say nothing about it. We cool. We quiet. It's all right. Now all these people who you help eradicate, now they on your doorstep. What's your position? Because everybody who thinks realizes that they're being used as a buffer class against you. And the only reason we haven't been decimated yet because we were too dumb enough not to ask. We kept thinking we the minority. You're the majority of people in America. You don't go nowhere in the world, and the indigenous people are the minority. We believe it because we believe what we've been taught. We believe that's how most of us go about our day. Won't think nothing about making it better for your family, your next door man, your next door neighbor's family, your brother's family, your sister. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Why? Well, I wanted to share a couple of things with you that I just was just going through, just reading, and this one right here is talking about immigrants are flooding the U.S. Study shows. It's the blah 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 about immigration. But one of the things that was interesting, this story was published 2018. This story was almost published 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Immigrants are flooding the U.S. This was 4 years ago. What you think is going on now? Why would people leave their homes? Because when you talk about India, Indians come, they bring in their mom and daddy with them. They bring in their sisters and brothers with them. See, how they get on how these countries pay these white politicians who dog you out to come and live on your land to be a buffer against you, but because they see there's a movement in the so-called African American community, because African Americans aren't going to do anything. That's what they were trained for, not to do anything. You gotta know these terms and how they making you up. Anything they say, you try to become, right or wrong, right or wrong. Anything they tell you to be or let you read, you want to become that to prove them right or wrong, right or wrong. Every group of Negroes that you see is a figment of somebody's imagination. I can give somebody $25 if they prove me wrong. Negroes don't want to be themselves. They want to be Garveyites. They want to be Hebrew Israelites. Really? Really? And we don't even read this stuff. We don't even look at it. We just believe. I know people that'll cuss you out if you ask them to read. If you read to the average Negro where that homosexuality is in the Bible on page 1, you lie. Oh, they don't even want you to read it to them. They know it's there, but they don't care. They gonna worship. So you really can't do too much with them, because every man has his choice. And then when you ask them, well, what were the spiritual practices of your people? Abba, Abba, Abba. This is where the African American is. If y'all see something else, let me know. So you're being hit by immigrants coming from the East, coming from that China, Russia, all that. You got the immigrants coming through the South. Now, to be honest, America stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole. This is the corporation United States. You cut half of your lineage off when you do that. You got people down in Peru. You got people down in Brazil. You got people in the. What are you doing? So that's how they block off your mind. They each one of them takes a little piece of you. They got islands in the Caribbean that's divided by the French and the Dutch. Now, your people from the island, but y'all fighting over who that's how we are. I mean, that's how the African American is. So that's what I'm saying. He's a clone of the black people, who are a clone of the Negro. See, every time they change your identity, they change something in that makes you you. We haven't figured it out yet. We haven't figured it out yet. We don't do studies on ourselves. We wait for somebody else to come tell us what to do, right or wrong. Right or wrong. We are told what to do, and we cool with it. And we wouldn't do anything else. That's why when you look up the definition, if you ever go, just simply go to the 1828 definition of America. They talking about you, then they change it in your face. And that's all the evidence you need. And you won't even go read that. They tell you an American is you. But now, what does but now mean? Nick, I'm taking this, I'm taking over your identity, and I'm going to call you black. And you was, okay, boss. Is that not what the African American did? What? Well, come on. And then try to talk like you didn't do that. Sit your ass down and shut up. Because you're confusing everybody. Right? Ain't that what you did? So now what you're seeing a push in the African American community, and this is, y'all better stop this shit, because this is a race. This erases you. You see how if you go back and read articles from the 1800s and the 1700s, those people were called African American when those people never even uttered the term. Now you're doing some revisionist history and going and painting everybody with that African American brush, and African Americans just got on the scene, and you cool with that? You would let somebody change your identity from what your grandmama was. The African American doesn't care about that. He's cool with it because boss said to do it like that. Tell me if I'm lying, y'all. Tell me if I'm lying, y'all. So, coming from the South, I don't know what their immigration policies is over in those other countries. Coming from the South, this day home too. America stretches from the North Pole to the South Pole. It's those people that came over here and took it from you, put all these borders up, stopped your evolvement. You cool with it though. So those people coming up from the South, I'm not really tripping off that, because those other countries, they're down there the Venezuelas, the Colombias, all of that down there. I'm sure they have immigration policies too. Then you come over here to the east, that is coming from Africa, people coming from Europe, and they piling in, and from the north up in Canada. Now, but the thing with Canada is people can come through Canada too. We act like those borders are like, yeah, they're patrolled. I mean, come on, man. You got wilderness people live in those conditions. They'll do anything to cross the border to get over to you. And see what we showed last night, and this is very important. And this is what I mean. You can't be around here being no idiot. Yeah, yeah, that ain't happening. Go cry that shit to somewhere else. You can't be dumb around here at this time on the planet. You think you can just be walking around and not knowing nothing when all this is going around your children? The African American doesn't care. You have people coming from their different places and they're bringing all kind of stuff that will kill the nature that's here. And we don't say nothing about it. Well, I do, but yeah, it's a long story. This is what you got. What the class of people you got calling African American. That's what they do, along with their counterparts, Hebrew Israelites, Greeks. Negroes got about 100 different groups they in, and none of them will stand up for their people, stand up for the land of their people. Don't care. They will take $20,000 and take the family over to Jerusalem, and won't go take them to Cahokia, Bessemer Mounds, Moundville, Etowah. Won't do that. He don't care about that. He go put his money in somebody else's pocket. So that's what I'm saying with the African Americans. You're gonna have to let them go because they're going the way they've been trained to go. They can't go nowhere else. You can't. I mean, if you can't explain simple shit, I mean simple. They can't get simple stuff. I mean, seriously. And see, we like to play with that, be like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Yeah. So with people who have dogs now, you know what I ask them? And when you ask them this, watch the look on their face. Would your grandmama allow the dog in the house jump all over the bed, in the back? Would your grandmama allow that? And they all had this look on their face like, hell no. So why do you do it? And that's one of the ways you can tell Negroes have been totally twisted out of themselves. This is how they've been trained. So they're not going to be any help. I'm just being honest because they don't know how. They're not with that life. They with the life that you see. And I'm not talking about on TV. Well, I'm talking about where does the Negro all his energy go to? It go to boss. Stop playing. See, we like to play around and say, not all of it, son. You know, really? You're not going back. The immigrants that come over here, the money they make off of you, they send it back home to build kingdoms back home. And we cool with it. So I was talking to this one Christian lady, and she was one of those that you just can't say nothing wrong about the Lord, right? And I just asked her a simple question because I said let's have a conversation. You say what you have. You have a minute. You make your point because those people when they talk, they just go on, and they don't let nobody else talk, and they don't want nobody else to talk because you're about to blow the cover on their shit. That's why they just keep on running their mouth, and none of that shit's making sense. I asked her, I said, do you have more stuff in your house made in China Or do you have more stuff in your house made here in America by your family? You know, this is a Christian woman. You know, she's just going to straight out lie and say more stuff made here. But it was cool because her husband was there. Because he told her, stop lying. And we're not ashamed of that. And we walk around here like, we got some shoes on that's another country. We got clothes on that other people. And we look dumb pumping their stuff. And when they ask you, because everybody know that you here for the picking because you ain't doing nothing. Where are the cars that you make, homie? Then, brother, you immediately go to another subject. I mean, you're the producers of cotton. Cotton was your industry. How come you're not making comfortable clothes on the market and put it in the world market to compete? Why isn't the Negro doing that? How come the Negroes of Mississippi, knowing that's their industry, aren't doing stuff with cotton now with the genius they got in Mississippi, Louisiana, all these places? How come that's not? Why isn't that being done? Why aren't we producing food for ourselves? We'll just get it from somebody else and don't care. We eat. I bet we eat more GMO stuff than anybody because you eat stuff that you don't cook, so you don't know what other people are getting you. You don't know. Cultures that have other pets, animals that we don't have here, that's what they'll feed to you. You don't know. All they gotta do is put some sugar on it. You think you'll say it tastes like chicken. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? You have the Europeans, Africans coming from the east. So you're surrounded. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I want to show you this last thing, and this brings it up to today. We bring this up to today. Now, many of you are already hip to this, but this is just how they say it. This article is called "Biden to Push for Immigrants to Apply for U.S. Citizenship." This was done on July 2nd, 2021. Uh, what Biden is being hit back now, what a lot of these places are saying, nah. A lot of these places are saying nah. Because even them old crackers that we've been having problems with all along, they even saying, wait a minute. But what are we saying? How is that going to affect us? Are those immigrants who are coming in, aren't they not realizing this is the jail population of the planet? They just scoop you in and throw you in a cage. And you already seen what's happening to the states. They're being sued by the prison complex because they're not keeping the jails full. Right? Right? The number of children who came across without a parent or guardian in April was 17,171, the second highest amount in Border Patrol's 96-year history. So you see, when they say people don't want to work no more, how they put that propaganda out there, cool. They'll grab these people and do the work. All this stuff is a game, and it's all there to control what you think, what you're supposed to be doing. and to send it to other people too. These messages aren't just sent to you. These messages aren't just sent to you. So this immigration thing, you gotta look out for it. This immigration, you have a large population that's dying out. That's those baby boomers. And it's a lot of them. A lot of the baby boomers, they come from giant families, 13, 14, 15, 16 brothers and sisters. And those kids have kids. See, that's the thing that we got to get in our head. You don't, in life, in the reality of life, to keep the people, remember that song by a Stylistics, people make the world go round. And if we're looking at ourselves like we don't even want to be people, like we don't want to reproduce, damn, that cuts down on your life expectancy right there. And we just think we can just do anything because everybody else is doing it. That ain't how it works, partner. You don't kill yourself out because you think it's cool. You don't genocide yourself. You don't reproduce yourself. Somebody reproduced you. Are you serious? You were reproduced, but now you're not gonna reproduce somebody else. Oh, for real? Really? Well, not everybody. Yeah. And the ones who can't have babies, they're not included. Some of that happened through these experiments they were doing on you, like this COVID stuff, like that Tuskegee stuff. You're always experimenting on. Didn't Henrietta Lacks teach you that? Didn't Harriet Washington medical apartheid? Huh? Our children don't know this stuff. We don't get into higher thinking skills or nothing. We don't tell the children where their parents are from and what comes from where their parents are from. What are the minerals that come from where your parents are from, your grandparents or great grandparents are from? What are the minerals? That's yours. But you nodded, I'm going to live in LA, cuz, and get yay. And I just walk away from your inheritance. That's the African American. You can say what you want. You can say what you want. You can cry and whine and that ain't how it is. That's exactly how it is. No, it's not no first. It's Congressional Black Caucus. Seriously, it's too many of us to let other people tell us that they're gonna do something for us. Then they don't even live where we're at. You're gonna have to do it. That's how it's gonna be done. And I'm gonna tell you something else. This is where it's gonna get real funky. And when you realize you can do this, need some bad Pakistan. You're gonna have to do all this shit without no money. Because this shit is damn near obsolete now. They're talking about everything that's going up and up and up and up. Beware. Pay attention. They got all kind of stuff to pay with now. Apple Pay, Venmo, Cash App. They come on, y'all. It's right in our face. It's right in our face. It's right in our face. And we gonna pretend like we don't see it because we don't like the color T-shirt he wearing. It's like that. Okay. So The immigrant delusion is to have a buffer class because you're coming from two different places, two different histories, two different ideologies, and they throw all these people in here on you, and it's to compete against them because uh, they have to be beholden to whoever let them in. And this is your country. They disrespect you because you let him do it. How come I can't do it? And then we ain't never got nothing to say, huh? I didn't know. I mean, that's serious. When you listen to African American talk, listen to what they say. Listen to what they let them speak first. Don't take no whole 20 minutes to explain a point. Explain what you have to say. Pass the mic to somebody else. The Negro doesn't like to do that. He just like to keep running his yap, not saying nothing, not being productive. No, dude, be quiet and let somebody else talk. Make the point. How's this gonna get fixed? And how a lot of this get fixed is we just start fucking participating. I mean, what would happen to the beauty industry if sisters stopped participating? Cause y'all fine already. I don't get that. I don't get that you think you got to wear all this bullshit. It boggles the mind. Can you imagine what we would have for ourselves if we didn't do that? So you see that they go into this social credit stuff now. So pay attention, and that's what I'm saying. Pay attention to the stuff that they putting out, that they're putting forth. Pay attention to it because it's slowly creeping in. Slowly creeping in. And a lot of these countries they're saying, hey, you committed war in our country. You owe us. That's what a lot of these immigrants are doing. You came in Vietnam. Vietnam sued the United States for that Agent Blue. So a lot of us don't know what Agent Blue is. We've heard of Agent Orange. Agent Orange was used to kill the foliage, all the plants in Vietnam. When they were in Vietnam, they was dropping them bombs. It was Agent Orange. Agent Blue killed the Earth. Agent Blue killed the Earth. Vietnam tells the United States because they're organized as a people, they're organized as a nation. Vietnam say, motherfucker, you gonna pay us because you killed you ruined our you ruined our Earth. You ruined our habitat. Now, what could we do with that? I don't know. We ain't even talking about that. Everybody I see Negro who's trying to talk is trying to talk to get closer to boss. These people are the dog. You, your mama, your grandmama, and the kicker part, and this is a lot of times when Negroes don't want to get into it because a lot of times you was right along with them. See, that's what Negroes really don't want to talk. See, you don't have to talk about where you've been in all these wars. You were the Buffalo Soldiers. What the Buffalo Soldiers do? See, nobody want to talk about it. I forgot. I heard about it, but I don't know. What the Buffalo Soldiers do? He went to war against you for the boss. Because I'm gonna give you a house. I'm gonna give you 40 acres and a mule. And you say what you always do, begging. Okay, you can tell my people. You can do my people like that's what we did. See, we won't see that we keep trying to hide it is where everything else is hidden from us. There've been plenty of people that told you be right, just be honest. We think we're doing something and you're not doing nothing. You're dogging your kids out. That's what you're doing. So pay attention to what's going on because it's happening right in front of your face. One of the ways that many of you will be able to sustain or withstand what's going on is a lot of you just take care of the people. Take care of the people. You got people out there that's doing phenomenal stuff. And I'm sure it's somebody around where each and every last one of you live. Somebody is doing some cool shit. Help them out. Give them some ideas. You know, buy them a cup of coffee. Buy them lunch one day. You know, every little thing's help because so much of our energy goes to other people. Do you imagine if the energy went just amongst ourselves? Can you imagine? And that's what everybody's getting. That's what everybody's getting, a little piece of that, because we give it out to everybody. And we give it out with joy in our hearts. You will see your son selling incense. You will see a Mexican selling a blow up beach volleyball. You will support the Mexican before you support your own kid. Right or wrong? You're damn right. So that's what I'm gonna close out on immigration. Pay attention to that. And watch these cats that tell you all this foreign stuff. Check out what they saying, because these foreigners are getting more rights than you. There's I think it's HUD. I think it's in Housing and Urban Development. This is your money because the HUD is Indian Public Housing. Yeah, ask your grandparents. They'll tell you. Everybody else came and got your stuff, and you cool with it. You can. That's why you got to kill each other out. See, it's faster and more efficient if you join in the fray than them just doing it, because it's more of you. You're the majority. I don't get that. But you cut your numbers down dramatically because remember, let's start, and this is what a lot of our grandmothers and grandfathers had, like I said, 13, 14, 15, shit, 20 kids. And they had those kids not just to be having kids, they had those kids because they needed the hands. You got one kid, but you got two hands. You can do stuff. Remember, these people didn't live in yards. These people didn't live in apartments. They lived on vast tracts of land. In order to develop that land, they needed hands. That's why you're created. But somebody came along and told you you was a Christian. Somebody came and told you was an elk, a Moor, a Muslim, and you went with it. Put all your stuff right, 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 and that's where you're at. We all over the place, running away from yourself. It ain't gonna work. It hasn't worked, and it ain't gonna work. So I would just want to say in this one is, look, the immigration. Don't look at it how they're selling it to you. Don't look at it how they're selling it to you. You should have been knowing this. We've talked about this before. I just want to put it out there because I had a conversation with a couple, and this is a couple that's 60 years old, and they didn't know nothing. You hear me? Didn't know nothing. Not grandkids. Don't know nothing. Don't be that person. See you next time. Peace.